Welcome to the DeMar Blogcast presented by Canon Press. If you're listening to this episode on the Canon YouTube channel, we've got a special announcement for you. If you could just scroll down into the description on this video, there should be a link to another channel that's going to be a dedicated Gary DeMar Blogcast channel. So this will be the last one uploaded to this channel. All future episodes will be uploaded exclusively to that channel. So if you don't want to miss a single episode, go to that channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification if you want to get notified for each upload. And hope you enjoy it. Again, don't miss a single episode in the future. And for now, hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Gary DeMar Blogcast. Today's entry is titled, Pushing the Absurd to See How Much Nonsense Rational People Will Accept. We are experiencing an ongoing war of worldviews. Advocates of a this world, that is a secular worldview, have set their sights on the destruction of all competing worldviews that transcend the finite world of knowledge and power. Anti-Christian worldviews derive their authority and power exclusively from this temporal time and place controlled by ideological power brokers. R.C. Sproul states the following about secularism. Secularism elevates the secular, that is, this world, to the point where it is believed that nothing exists beyond what we can see. Accordingly, secularism says there is nothing beyond this life. It denies the church a voice in society, and even if God is not denied explicitly, the secularized culture operates as if he does not exist. There is nothing transcendent to which the secular is accountable. Now, we are seeing it everywhere. The secularists are determined to bury history. In what they can't bury, they will attempt to destroy. In what they cannot destroy, they will propagandize. Cancel culture isn't anything new, however. Every pagan worldview does it, has done it. The French revolutionaries did it, and so did the communists and Nazis. Canceling 6 books written by Theodore Seuss Geisel, that is Dr. Seuss, is designed to determine how much of the past can be eradicated with little or no pushback. The same tactic is employed when showing your work in solving a math problem is deemed to be racist. Many academics are opposed to absolutes in math, even though every rational person knows that math is the same for everyone. The world runs on the premise that math works the same for everyone in every situation, no matter what your skin color. If the ideological soldiers in the anti-Christian worldview can get people to believe otherwise, then almost nothing will be too difficult to get people to believe, like 2 + 2 = 5. Walter Williams wrote, Mathematics, more than any other subject, is culturally neutral. The square root of 16 is 4, whether you're Asian, European, African, or even a Plutonian or Martian. While math and science literacy among white 15-year-olds is nothing to write home about, that among black 15-year-olds is nothing less than a disaster. But rational people are being conditioned to act contrary to what they know to be true, to accept even more absurdities in the name of some new culture-saving ideology. Getting the right answers or showing your work in math is said to be white supremacy. If enough young black girls and boys believe this, their lives will be destroyed. Williams continues, Few people appreciate the implications of poor math preparation. Mathematics, more than anything else, teaches one how to think logically. As such, it is an important intellectual tool. When math is thought to be suspect, then the same will be true of logic. And that, I think, is the goal of what's taking place today in terms of cancel culture. Liberal educators have followed this subversive approach to indoctrination for centuries. The following is from atheist philosopher Richard Rorty, who believed, and I'm quoting, in a foundationless world where creative, secular humanism must replace the quest for an eternal authority, that is, of God, nature, method, and so forth, to provide hope for a better future, close quotation. He believed educating young minds was the way to accomplish this. The following is a rather long quotation, but it's important to get the ultimate tactic of what is going on in our culture today. This was established some time ago by the reigning secular atheistic philosophers of the time. So I begin this quotation. It seems to me that the regulative idea that we heirs of the Enlightenment, we Socratists, most frequently use to criticize the conduct of various conversational partners is that of needing education in order to outgrow their primitive fear, hatreds, and superstitions. It is a concept which I, like most Americans who teach humanities or social science in colleges and universities, invoke when we try to arrange things so that students who enter as bigoted, homophobic, religious fundamentalists will leave college with views more like our own. The fundamentalist parents of our fundamentalist students think that the entire American liberal establishment is engaged in a conspiracy. The parents have a point. Their point is that we liberal teachers no more feel in a symmetrical communication situation when we talk with bigots than do kindergarten teachers talking with their students. When we American college teachers encounter religious fundamentalists, we do not consider the possibility of reformulating our own practices of justification so as to give more weight to the authority of the Christian scriptures. Instead, we do our best to convince these students of the benefits of secularization. We assign first-person accounts of growing up homosexual to our homophobic students for the same reasons that German school teachers in the post-war period assigned the Diary of Anne Frank. You have to be educated in order to be a participant in our conversation. So we are going to go right on trying to discredit you in the eyes of your children, trying to strip your fundamentalist religious community of dignity, trying to make your views seem silly rather than discussable. We are not so inclusive as to tolerate intolerance. I don't see anything domination-free about my handling of my fundamentalist students. Rather, I think those students are lucky to find themselves under the benevolent domination of people like me, and to have escaped the grip of their frightening, vicious, dangerous parents. I am just as provincial and contextualist as the Nazi teachers who made their students read Der Stürmer. The only difference is that I serve a better cause. This is from Rorty and his critics, Universality and Truth. According to Rorty's pragmatist ideology, the Nazis were wrong in what they advocated, but not how they went about forcing compliance. In the famous scene in George Orwell's 1984, inter-party member O'Brien tests Winston Smith's adherence to truth as the party defines it. O'Brien demands to know if Winston sees 5 fingers instead of the 4 fingers he is holding up. Refusal to accept party truth will mean torture. The following is from 1984. O'Brien held up his left hand, its back towards Winston, with the thumb hidden and the 4 fingers extended. How many fingers am I holding up, Winston? 4. And if the party says that it is not 4 but 5, then how many? 4. The word ended in a gasp of pain. The needle of the dial had shot up to 55. The sweat had sprung out all over Winston's body. The air tore into his lungs and issued again in deep groans, which even by clenching his teeth he could not stop. O'Brien watched him, the 4 fingers still extended. He drew back the lever. We are being forced to accept the falsehood that there are more than 2 sexes and that men can become women and women can become men. This is 1984 writ large. Repeat after the dictates of the Ministry of Truth. Trans women are women. That's what we are being forced to believe today. The goal is to push the absurdities to their breaking point, to see how much nonsense rational people will accept. The goal is to reshape the future in terms of a new paradigm of total ideological control. The transformation of society would come by eliminating all competing worldviews. Hitler was obsessed with an eternal struggle between 2 hostile forces, the Aryan and the Jew, the stakes of which were the survival of mankind and the planet. The struggle goes much deeper, however. Nazism has been described as a political religion that demands of its adherents total submission of their consciences and surrender of their souls. It was unconditional in its claims, inspired fanaticism, and practiced extreme intolerance of those who thought otherwise. A church state had emerged with cults, dogmas, and rites. whose beliefs consisted of a form of millenarianism. According to the late William L. Shirer, under the leadership of Alfred Rosenberg, Martin Bormann, and Heinrich Himmler, who were backed by Hitler, the Nazi regime intended eventually to destroy Christianity in Germany and substitute the old paganism of the early tribal Germanic gods and the new paganism of the Nazi extremists. Bormann, one of the men closest to Hitler, said publicly in 1941, "National Socialism and Christianity are irreconcilable." For Bormann, the Nazi worldview was the final truth. For this reason, Bormann wrote, "We can do without Christianity." He went on to say, "The Christian churches build upon the ignorance of men and strive to keep large portions of the people in ignorance because only in this way can the Christian churches maintain their power. On the other hand, National Socialism, that is Nazism, is based on scientific foundations. Christianity's immutable principles, which were laid down almost 2,000 years ago, have increasingly stiffened into life-alien dogmas. National Socialism, however, if it wants to fulfill its task further, must always guide itself according to the newest data of scientific searches." Close quote. William Shirer later would write, "We know now what Hitler envisioned for the German Christians, the utter suppression of their religion. With Christianity out of the way, all was possible. You would be correct if some of this sounds very familiar with what's taking place today. The solution? Remove your children from government schools before you can."
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Gary DeMar Blogcast. If you haven't heard, Gary DeMar's American Vision is coming to the Canon app. That means audiobooks are on the way. Audio and video content are already found in the app, so if you don't have the Canon app yet, go to the app store of your choice, download it, and subscribe to get not only everything that Canon Press is up to, but also classics from the American Vision store.